Hello students, in this video I'm going to present the main implications of globalization for marketing management. And what is the big issue about globalization implications for marketing? When you have a global strategy, you need to know how to adapt and how to use your campaign from one country to another. And sometimes you may have someone in one country saying, okay, now we have a campaign, now we have a product, now we have our strategy. Now let's use this strategy everywhere in the world. But what's the big point? People in different regions in the world will notice that this strategy needs to be changed. And this is exactly the big challenge of making a localization of a strategy. In this figure here, in this picture, we can see that the headquarters of the company is trying to deliver the same campaign everywhere in the world, but people need to create something. People believe that they need to create something totally different in each area that they are operating. And the way that you're going to manage this different point of view is basically the big challenge of creating a global strategy. So how can you coordinate these different subsidiaries, different offices that you have in countries around the world, and to have a strategy that can work properly in each of these regions? To deal with this challenge, companies can look to international marketing in many different ways. And this is exactly what we call the approaches to international marketing. Some companies can have what we call an ethnocentric approach. In that case, this phrase, my country, my rules, it's a very good representation of the beliefs of managers. In this strategy, basically the company will develop all the strategy in home country. So the home country will develop everything of the strategy, will develop the product, the advertisement, or at least will set all the rules to make the marketing of this value proposition in different countries in the world. In that case, you have a high level of centralization in the decisions. You have all the decisions made by the headquarters, and then they deliver the strategy, and everywhere in the world they need to copy and say, okay, I'm going to use your strategy to operate here in my country. So basically here, you don't have a real international marketing mindset. You basically have your point of view from the home country. You have the managers there that believe that they know everything about everyone, that they believe that they have the best product, the best advertisement, and this is enough to deliver the product to everywhere in the world. Some companies, you have the polycentric approach. In that case, you're going to adapt your strategy fully. So in each country, in each region, you're going to create a new strategy from the scratch. And this, the belief behind that is that you believe that each region is so unique that it's impossible to use some knowledge, some strategies from one country to another. And in that case, you have a lot of independence. So basically, you don't have central coordination, and also it's not really international marketing doing that. Because you don't have any kind of coordination, you just have a company that have independent units operating in different regions, in different countries in the world. What is the big point here? This could be so costly to do that, and you can lose opportunities from learn the best practices in each part of the world. And because of that, this polycentric approach is not really considered international marketing. Also, you have the heliocentric approach. In that case, you're going to make divisions. So, for instance, you can say that you're going to have North America headquarters, Latin America headquarters, and South Africa and Africa headquarters, and so on. And in that case, you have some integration between within these regions. So within these regions, we have some integration. So Latin America offices, you're going to have some coordination between Brazil, Argentina, Chile, and so on. But you're not going to have a really integration in different regions. So headquarters in Latin America will have a lot of independence from North America, and you don't have any exchange of knowledge, of people, of understanding between these two or these different headquarters. In the geocentric approach, this is really what we call international marketing. So basically, you start with the belief that it's important to have exchange of knowledge of people in different regions. You can learn from the best practices, you can learn the opportunities, you can learn how to deal with threats in different regions, and then you can use this knowledge to adapt your strategy whenever is necessary, and if it's not necessary, you can keep some level of standardization. In the geocentric approach, the best phrase that represents this approach is think global, act local. So look to the big picture, understand the differences, learn the best practices, and then create a strategy for a region or keep the strategy if it's not necessary to adapt. So really to have an international marketing approach, you really need to have the geocentric approach. The other ones are not really international marketing in the broad sense. Therefore, we know now that the main challenge of international marketing is to deal with these two different strategies. What we need to standardize and what we need to adapt. So this decision between making a standardized a standard strategy and making an adapted strategy is the big challenge of global marketing. When you think about standardization, you think about developing products, delivering products, and promoting products worldwide with a standardized marketing mix. And when you do that, you're basically not adapting your strategy. But in the opposite side, we have the adaptation of our strategy, or what we call the global localization. In that case, you're going to mix and change something in your product, in your advertisement, in your price, the way that you price your product, aiming in maximizing the satisfaction of your customer and thinking about the differences that exist between countries, the legal differences, the cultural differences, and all the elements that make one country different from another. And when you look about it, we're basically looking at a greater focus in segmenting this market. And the adaptation of the strategy is when you're prone to do that, you're using this approach and thinking global and acting local. Let's look to this example of this challenge between standardization and adaptation. As you can see here, Coca-Cola basically makes a lot of adaptations in their logos, in their promotions around the world, but of course they have global campaigns. They have some messages that are spread all over the world with little differences. They can change the people that will appear in the advertisement. Sometimes they want to present people from different parts in the world to show that they are operating globally. And when they do so, you can see that they're changing some elements of their strategy because they believe that there is something that is different between different regions. For instance, the meaning of these logos, the curves of the letters, not only the language, but you have also what's behind the language. In that case, for instance, you have how Coca-Cola is presented in China as delicious and happiness. And as you can see, some elements of this strategy, they are changing to enter in new and different countries. But in the other side, the basic element, the Coca-Cola itself, the soft drink, it's it's basically the same around the world. You can have some difference in flavor. Sometimes you can have more sweet on the soft drinks, but in general, it's very standardized. And this is one example. So you have the standardization of the product, but you have a lot of adaptations on how you present the product, even if you have some standard promotions around the world. With that, we can present you the concept of localization. Localization is basically this process of creating a geocentric organization. And localization is the merge between a global strategy, a standardized strategy, and a local strategy. There is an adapted strategy. So basically, localization means the development and selling of products and services intended for the global market, but adapted to suit local culture and behavior. And a company trying to really have an international marketing approach, making this merge between standardization and adaptation, we need to apply this concept of globalization or global localization. The assumption behind a localization strategy is to make this balance between localization, that is the differentiation of a strategy to each region you operate, and the globalization, that is the standardization of your strategy. So when you adopt a localization strategy, you need to find the best fit between localization and globalization to the strategy that you're going to address. And when you move to localization, you usually have forces like customers. You have difference between the culture and how people use the products in different regions in the world. Also, you know that the customer response is very different from one country to another. Also, you know that if you use something that is very specific to the market, you are going to have a very fast market penetration. So more people will use your product in the short period of time. So you have a lot of people using it just in the beginning of your product life cycle. But when you look to other forces that will make companies willing to use globalization, you have different elements that will make this tendency. For instance, some companies will look to standardize their strategy because then companies can have low cost of production selling. So if you standardize, you keep the same strategy, the same product, the cost will be low. So you can reach more people, you can have lower costs, or you can have greater profit. Also, you can develop more faster your products, and then you can create more products in the short period of time. This is the global rollout of concepts, high speed. So it's much easier to innovate if you're creating one product for the entire world. If you're creating different products for different regions, it will be slow, it will not be so fast. And also, if you're trying to make a more simpler strategy, if you're not looking to a lot of complexity on your strategy, it's much easier to make a standardization of your strategy. So in that case, if you're looking for low complexity or if it's important for your business, then you have forces bringing you to have a more globalized strategy. Of course, you need to find the balance between these two, and finding this balance between the forces that will drive your business to local strategies and the forces that will drive your business to global strategies need to be fulfilled, and you need to find the best balance to deliver your local strategy. Here are some examples on how you can apply this local framework in a specific product or campaign. Let's look to this example of localization. Here we have the same product, but we have different ways to communicate to the market, and also you have different packaging for these products. As you can see in the left side, you have the Pursu black for European markets. In that case, you have a different way of presenting, and in the right side, you have the Pursu for Arabic word. You have the same product. There is no difference in what is inside this package. But look at the difference. In the right side, in the Arabic word, you have a woman, you have shapes with curves, you have something more, a little bit sensual, and it's very easy to see that this product, and also look at the size of the place where you hold the product. It's small, for a small hand. So basically here is the assumption that female, only woman will use the product, or that woman will be the one that you choose the product and use the product. So this assumption, given the cultural, not the natural, but the cultural conditions of this country. So in this country, we have a specific role for women, and there there is assumption that women use it. Look to the product in the left, the European one. You have a bigger size of the holder of the product. So for big hands, and also you have a shape like strong, and you don't have a lot of curves. You have something telling that is strong, something not probably gender neutral. You don't have a specific gender role for the usage of this product. And male can use, probably they can market, they can promote the product for male or female, because it's not expected just that woman will use the product for cleaning the house or cleaning the house. And in that case, we can see that you have some product that is basically the same. You have, but you have different packaging and different ways to communicate based on assumptions of this cultural difference between countries. This is another example, now from a perfume. In the left side, you can see the advertisement in France, and in the right side, you have the advertisement for the Arabic word. Look to the position of the hand of woman. So the hand of woman is strong. She's participating in this act. As you can see, this force means that woman is part of this interaction, and the perfume is basically what make the mix, what make the linkage between the male and the female, the woman and the man. In the Arabic word, you can see the man using a suit as a symbol of power. So the perfume means that the perfume is part of a powerful man. And as you can see by the symbol of the hand of the woman there, you can see like a seduction, like a small touch. And there is a meaning, the touch, as a small touch, a soft touch is considered something sensual in that culture, since you have more have different roles for man and woman in this society. So as you can see, you have the same product, but since you have cultural differences, you need to create a different way to promote your product in these two cultures. Here's another example. In the left side, you have the cognac for the French culture, and in the right side, you have the same product for the Chinese culture. As you look to in the left, you have people. People are hugging, people are very close to each other. They are not at home, they are in the bar. And you have a social interaction, you have some sensuality, you have probably you don't have people from the same family. You have people that are probably friends. Some of them may be just dating for that time. And as you can see, the symbol, look at the table. There is no food on the table. And you can see that the cognac is basically a way to improve social relations between friends in a place that is not a family place. Look at the right side, and then you have the Chinese advertisement for the same product. Look at the size of food. So food is a very important aspect. So you use that as a part of your meal. And also you can see that the product's in the hand of the people there. So probably this means that this is a symbol of success or status. And look, probably they are at home, or it seems at least that they are interacting with their families. So basically you have a role of food, a role of status that is not related to a bar outside. It's something probably people interacting with their families. And this means that we have a different advertisement since we have these cultural differences between countries. In this lecture, I presented the international marketing approach and how you need to deal with the standardization and the adaptation of your strategy in order to deliver a global marketing strategy. And in the heart of this strategy is the usage of a global framework. And I finished presenting some examples on how you can do that in real cases. So this is it for today, and see you in the next video. Bye.